Hey, 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 hey! So, part 4. Today we're looking at aligned action. But we're going to start by singing an affirmation, a new one, a different one from yesterday, which is I'm taking back my territory, I'm taking back my throne. I remember who I really am. I rise victorious in my true design. You have a true design, okay? There's something that you're here to do. There's a life you're here to create. It will fulfill you. It'll be meaningful. It'll be wealthy. It'll be good. I know everybody has different ideas of what they desire. That is your true design. That different idea. I know some people want to impact millions. Other people just want to, impact their children. Other people just want to have a good life with a partner and travel, whatever. Or you want a mixture of all of that. That's your true design. It's always led by what you actually want. I say actually a lot. I need to cut that out. I am Rosemary 99, by the way. I am the prosperity minister. I support you in rebuilding your confidence so that you can leave behind the stories, the limiting beliefs of the past, and rise victorious in your true design. Let's sing this affirmation. I'm taking back my territory. I'm taking back my throne. I remember who I really am. I rise victorious in my true design. I'm taking back my territory. I'm taking back my throne. I remember who I really am. I rise victorious in my true design. I rise victorious. I rise victorious. I rise victorious in my true design. I rise victorious. I rise victorious. I rise victorious in my true design. I rise victorious. I rise victorious. I rise victorious in my true design. I rise victorious. I rise victorious. I rise victorious in my true design. I rise victorious in my true design. I rise victorious in my true design. Woohoo! Rising victorious, man! Okay, so we're rising victorious in our true design, and we're finishing this off a little bit with. There's still be another part, I think. Yes, there's going to be another part. Yeah. We're finishing this off, or at least 4 parts at least, with aligned action. I kind of mentioned that in the last part where I said about you'll be guided to take certain steps. It doesn't come from a place of, I just need to work hard to make things happen because I'm afraid. And you don't even think about, you don't think the because I'm afraid bit. You just think, well, this is the way everybody I know does it. And so this is the way that I must do it in order to get the results that I want. But actually, no. That gets you somewhere. It got me to being a pharmacist. It got me to a house. It got me to 2 cars. It got me to a cleaner. It got me to helping people in my house. All of that stuff. It did look successful on the outside. It felt empty. And I knew that I was living beneath my own potential. I knew I was doing something that I didn't want to do. I knew I wasn't building the right life for me. Okay? And you cannot truly prosper in the wrong life for you. So I hit a cap. And I realized if I was going to, I realized after 4 years depression, bankruptcy, all of that, that actually if I'm not just going to settle for some kind of half life, then I need to live somewhat differently. I used to call it the new breed leader. It's a new way of living where you're living intuitively. I call it living life deliberately for sure. Okay. We're very much about the deliberate life in this community, that we're very deliberate about the things that we do. Even resting becomes a deliberate thing. But there's no but. It is in connection to the divine. As you have connected to the divine, got clear about what you want, you've cleared, I'm not saying perfection here, cleared as much as you can. Because even as you start clearing little things away, you'll see that new ideas are coming through. You'll see that you see things in your current existence that you didn't used to see, because now you're available to see it. Okay? Things that will elevate you, things that will take you further, that were always there. So you're never actually going to have to do anything really horrible, but it might be scary. a little bit to begin with, because this is not the way you're used to living. You're used to knowing, you go to a job, they tell you what you need to do every day, you go back home. That's the way most people live. You do certain things in a certain way. If you're going to increase your income, you're going to have to take on another job. It's all very linear. You do this and then you get that. But then you step into this other way of living where you do this and you get that. And you're thinking, how did that happen? How did those doors? I remember when I started my business, my real estate business to begin with, and just me being on the path, suddenly things you could not predict happened. And it was nothing to do with how hard I was working. I was working hard, but I was really into it. I was really into what I was doing at the time of doing it, until I realized, no, this is just a sideways step. I'm not into it. I was into the idea of building a really successful business. Okay, and I did. And so, yeah, you always get what you expect. The problem was it wasn't the right business for me. Again, it was one of those, well, people are going to need housing, right? So this is what the marketplace is asking for. So maybe I should just do that. Because I didn't think that I could do this stuff that I'm doing now and actually make money doing it. I still remember when I suddenly realized, oh my gosh, I'm doing the stuff that I thought about doing when I was a child. And my parents had said, nobody makes money from writing. Nobody makes money from doing any of that stuff. So, you have to become a pharmacist. And then after pharmacy, I told myself, you have to become a property investor, because it's more solid, it's more real. But it wasn't aligned action. And it will get you somewhere. I'm not saying that you won't experience some kind of success. The question is it enough for you to just have a level of success, always knowing that there's so much more for you, but that you're ultimately too scared to listen to the intuitive nudges within you and act upon them, or you haven't even trained yourself to hear them, because that is, if you've been shutting it down forever, you almost can't even hear your intuition anymore, except you're here. The divine somehow got you here, listening to this. You know what the next step is for you. It probably is to get on the call with me, okay? And I've already mentioned this a few times. It probably is to get on the call with me. That's why you're here. Get on the call, we have a conversation. You actually have to do something when you feel the nudge inside of you. As I said in one of the videos, I did mention that sometimes the deliberate action is nothing. It's just take a break, go for a walk, have a nap, take a shower, do literally nothing. But sometimes, a lot of times, the deliberate action, the aligned action, is to take a step. It's not a big, I can't do it step. It might be a big, it's a little bit scary step. Like I mentioned about, what, I'm supposed to somehow find 35,000 to pay that person. After I have been bankrupt as well. What now? It's not hard. It's scary. The steps are simple. Not everybody's going to be called to do some kind of massive step like that. And I know in this community, I am specifically called to keep things really simple, to make things accessible. So there's always a way in my community for you to move forward, if you're actually willing to. If you're actually willing to kind of push open the gates, the cage that you've built yourself into, and take the aligned action that is being pointed out to you. There's a different way of living. It's an easier way to live when you learn to trust it. It takes practice to trust it. Because when you think about it, when you really know that you're safe, that you're connected to the divine, completely safe, then nothing can happen to you that is just kind of weird and random. You're safe. It's easy then not to need to know every single thing you have to do, but just to follow through on that next step. That's all. That's the aligned step. And it's usually one that when you get past some of the fear around it, depending on what it is, sometimes there's absolutely no fear around it because it is simple. There's a lot of joy. It's the stuff you actually been wanting to do that the divine has been trying to help you do, but because it didn't fit into your idea of what you're allowed to do or what sensible people do, you've not allowed yourself to actually get the life you want. The aligned action feels right. As I say, it might even be something you've been wanting to do forever, but you keep telling yourself that's not reasonable, it's not sensible. Responsible people like me can't do such things. Really? Maybe you just need to drop the responsible craziness, except, take responsibility for your life, but the responsible according to what the world has told you, the childlike inherit the kingdom. Those who are in touch with their inner female, their inner child, whether you're man or woman, okay? This isn't about being a man and so you only have, no. All of us have a masculine and a feminine, left, right brain. You can call it that if you're a bit more scientific. An inner child, an inner parent. The inner child is the one that connects to the divine, fun-loving. Is always looking for the most happy thing to do, the joyous thing to do. And that part of you is incredibly powerful. Most people have spent a lot of time pushing that part of themselves down, trying to be reasonable, and I need to use common sense. And so you've been stifling the most powerful part of you, but it's quite powerful. So you end up addicted to food, addicted to entertainment, addicted to drama, or ill, because it will show up in some way. When you start to say yes to all of you, then you'll find that actually some of those addictions will drop away. Because finally you're saying yes to you. You're not pushing all of this deep longings down, and the only way you can feel anything is by going to excessive, sometimes religious activity. Oh my gosh, religious activity. Lots of very empty people are in religious organizations because they're trying to fill up that space that they have been told should be filled by God, but they don't feel it. But nobody admits it, of course, because you're supposed to be. If you admit it, then you're not full of faith. And so nobody admits it. Nobody really understands why they still feel empty, despite the fact that they're doing everything right. That was me. That was me, which is why I know. I was doing everything right. Trying so hard to tick all of the boxes. And, on the face of it, I was a leader at church and a leader in the world in terms of being a pharmacist manager and all of this stuff. But it was empty. It wasn't me. It wasn't the life I was supposed to be living. And so I had to make different choices. You may have to make different choices. Some of them will seem a little bit scary when you get started because you're so not used to just following your intuition. You're used to knowing A to Z, this is what we do. But where's it got you? You have to try a different way if you're going to get a different result. Are you ready and willing to? I hope so. If you are, let's converse, honey. Let's have a session. Start with the discovery session. From the discovery session, we'll decide what is the best path forward for you. No obligation. You determine, I determine, do we want to work together or not? And that's okay. But if you're here, there's a reason for it. Nothing happens by mistake. You've been drawn into my world for a reason. The question is, will you do something about it? Oh, you that person still listening to me thinking, oh my gosh, she's just a scam artist. Honey, that is still your lack of confidence speaking. You know that, right? You may think that it's you because, oh, that person, I have sometimes people sending me emails saying, oh, I tried all this other stuff and nothing has ever worked for me. Are you sure that if I buy this thing from you, and they're expecting me to then try and give them all the reasons why they should buy it from me? I don't say, honey, you trust yourself. It's up to you. Do you want to change or not? That's it. I don't try to convince people of anything. I know those that are called into my world will finally respond. And so I'm cool. I'm cool, man. My source is the divine. I don't need any one person to give me their money. I'm just being blunt with you, okay? Because I want you to get to know who I am, how I think, okay? So if we are working together, this is me. This is me. I don't try to be super perfect, and I definitely don't try to convince anybody of anything. I want to speak only to those who already resonate with what I'm saying. You've always known it. You just haven't been able to put it into words. So as I'm saying it to you, there's a part of you that thinks, oh my gosh, I've always known that. I can hear my daughters out there doing some kind of hoovering thing, vacuuming something. But anyway, you've always known it. So I'm confirming what you already knew. If that's you, then there will be a thing around this video. Join in. Register your interest for a discovery session. Let's have a conversation. I'll point you in the right direction. There's all levels of different things that can support you in moving forward. Okay, I don't care where you're at financially. I don't care where you're at emotionally. If you're serious, as I already said on another video, this isn't come and pick my brain. I don't actually want to do anything. I just want you to press a button and fix me. No. Nothing about you needs to be fixed anyway. Let's put it that. Let me just be very clear about that. No, we're uncovering the real you. We do want to take off the layers of you on you that life has placed on you and bring you back to your bodacious, confident self. But there's nothing to fix. You are created in the image and likeness of the divine. You are perfect. You just forgot. It's time to remember. So if this resonates with you, if these videos have resonated with you, book yourself in for a session. But again, only if you're serious about moving forward. If you're still second guessing and doubting, maybe it's not time. That's okay. That's okay. Okay? Okay? It's been a pleasure hanging out with you in these videos. I don't know if there's going to be another one. I feel as if I've said everything that I need to say at this point. Except, yes, everything I've introduced you to so far is what I call the deliberate millionaire path to peace and plenty. That's what this is about. My daughter is getting annoyed with somebody over there. The deliberate millionaire path to peace and plenty. Did I mention I'm a home educating mother? That was one of my dreams and desires, was to make sure I watched my children growing up, but at the same time created a life that I loved. Okay, so not just, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom if that is your calling, but for me, it wasn't enough to just be a stay-at-home mom. I needed to know. I needed to step into my vision. I did try to be just a stay-at-home mom. Well, did I? No, because our finances at that point didn't allow me to make that a reality. And so even when I was on maternity leave, I got a little bit bored thinking, I tried to be super mom for a bit and then realized that is not me. However, I knew that I wanted to be around my children. I didn't want them to be in nurseries and all of that stuff. That was one of the big driving factors for me coming out of depression and all of that stuff, was realizing, no, I'm not showing them that they have no choice. They have to know that they have a choice because they see their mom with a choice, who made the choice to, okay, I'm going to step away from what people call success and actually create fulfilling success. Anyway, deliberate millionaire path to peace and plenty. Connection to the divine. Clarity about what it is that you desire in all areas of life. Healing. Clearing the limiting beliefs. Clearing the blockages in your energy that keep you from your good. And finally, aligned action. Living that deliberate life. It's different from the normal life. Sometimes people looking in might think, it's just the same when you're just working harder than everybody else. But to you, it feels like joy. It feels like play. It feels like, woo! And you're energized by everything you do rather than drained. Coming back home and thinking, I just need to eat something in order to live. No. You start to realize on the deliberate millionaire path, you realize money exists to support you. Time exists to support you. Your body exists to support you. Food exists to support you. You're not a slave to any of those things. You're not a slave of life. You're not a slave of the divine. You're not a slave of money. You're not a slave of, you don't have to do anything for those things. Those things come in to support you. When you're on the deliberate millionaire life path, it's different. And that's what you're being invited to. That's what all of this is about. And the thing I realized when I was speaking about the person I'm here to serve with the divine, was the biggest thing that gets in people's way is that lack of confidence, because life has happened. Life has beaten it out of you, little by little by little. For some people, it was a big whack, basically, something happened that just ate at you. Maybe that person you thought you were going to be together forever, and they just destroyed you by betraying you, and your confidence just took a blow. For others, it's just the little things. The teacher said that, your mother said that, your friend said that. This happened. This other thing happened. And some of these things are not even big things that you would even think, why you wouldn't even think that that could affect you. And yet, all you know, you've got to a certain age and it really feels like you're drained of confidence. You think of the things you said you were going to be doing, and you don't even know where that energy is gone. You just have enough to get through each day. That's no way to live, and you know it. This isn't who you are. You're just bogged down by these little, or big things. And the invitation is now coming to you to say enough and to say yes to your true design. So if this stuff has resonated with you, this is the final video, I've decided. This is the final video. This is your time. I'll give you another 24 hours after receiving this video, really, to decide that you're going to have a discovery session. If not, then, it doesn't matter. There'll be other things, because you're going to be hearing from me. I did tell you in that first email from me that I am very prolific. I have a lot to say. You'll be hearing from me. And you'll have other invitations, not necessarily to a discovery session. I don't really do those generally. So it's usually just offered for a very short set period of time. So you have probably another 24 hours after receiving this video. And then, you will start hearing from me in other ways about other things, particularly the Abundance Library. Oh, that is something close to my heart. You'll hear about that. That if working with me one-on-one is not the thing, then joining the Abundance Library is definitely the thing, honey. It's definitely the thing. In a year, you'll be in such a completely different place just because you chose to join the Abundance Library. Okay? But you'll hear about that. I'm excited to tell you about that too. It's been a pleasure. You are now starting your path on the deliberate millionaire path to peace and plenty. Inner peace, external prosperity. It is your divine right if you will claim it. Are you ready to? Let's have that conversation, or I'll see you in something else. That's fine. Much amazing love. If anybody you know needs to hear these videos, then send them to sign up for the thing, sign up for the video, sign up for the whole list thing for the confidence book in the first place, or whatever book it is that you got to start with, ultimately, and then let them go through the process too. Yeah, so you can share the link. I'll try and remember to put the link in the email so that you can share it with somebody else if you know there are people in your world that could do with going through this series. Okay? It's been a pleasure. Much amazing love. Go forth and prosper. Whatever you choose to do, you deserve to thrive. You deserve to prosper. Say yes. Not just with your mouth, but with every part of you. Okay? Much love. Bye.